my fellow gods and goddesses, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today we are doing a Judge a Book by its cover on Aphrodite Made Me Do It by Tristan Mattier. Alright, so let's get into it. If you guys are new to my channel, my review style of videos is basically to do a makeup look based on the cover of the book that I'm reviewing while I talk to you guys about it. I have a look in mind. I think I'm going to do like a halo eye with navy on the outside and maybe some like dark purples and then bright neon pink right in the center because we're staining our eyelids today. First, I'm going to prime my eyelids with the ColourPop concealer. This is just the white because one, I'm a pale ass bitch and I can prime my eyelids with white ass concealer, and two, I like to prime my lids with a white concealer because it makes the colors pop out more. Thankfully, this book that I'm talking about is a poetry collection, so I'm hoping that because it's a poetry collection and I can't say too much about it, I'll actually remember to tell you guys what I'm doing with my face, because I never ever tell you exactly what I'm using whenever I do these videos. First, I'm going to do a transition color. I'm going to just take a light pink. This is just a ColourPop single shadow. I don't know what it's called. I'm not going to take it out of the packaging to look. It's just a pale pink shadow. So Aphrodite Made Me Do It, as I said, is a poetry collection, and the center theme around Aphrodite Made Me Do It is that our narrator has had really shitty experiences with love. They have not had the best time with relationships. They have been both emotionally and physically abused by both their mother and their ex-partners. So that is a really big theme of the book. And so they've really just kind of given up on love. They've just been hurt in the past, so they don't want to open themselves up to that abuse any longer. I'm taking the Morphe 35B palette. This is discontinued and they replaced it with the James Charles palette, but I have this one. So we open the book up and our narrator is just in their apartment. They are, I believe they're like cleaning or something. Regardless, they're just chilling in their apartment, and all of a sudden Miss One and Only Aphrodite makes an appearance. She just, shows up. She's just chilling, like, oh, what you doing over here? What's going on? And our narrator is like, listen lady, I don't know what you're doing here. You ain't got no business being here because I'm not looking for love. I don't want love. I'm not interested in any of that business anymore. I've given up. And Aphrodite, being the bad bitch that she is, Aphrodite just looks at her and is like, well then why am I here? Checkmate. The poetry collection it's broken into these acts, and we are told from not only Aphrodite's perspective, but also the perspective of our narrator, of course. It has a lot to do with self-love, accepting love, forgiving those who have wronged you and who have caused you great deals of pain, and just kind of learning how to forgive those people, how to come to terms again with self-love. That is probably the most impactful thing about this poetry collection. A huge thing goes inside with the self-love aspect is that a lot of it is the narrator coming to terms with their queerness and how her queerness has been demonized by people around her and by society, and how they just don't accept it. It's the narrator saying fuck you and coming to terms with, no, I like who I like, I love who I love, and I love myself for it. And then another huge thing about this is Aphrodite reclaiming her own identity because as we all know, Aphrodite has always been not only demonized but just pushed aside. People don't accept her power, even though love is literally the most powerful force in the universe. People just ignore her, they cast her aside, they paint her in pink and florals, and they just take away the brutality that love can cause. And a lot of it is Aphrodite saying, no, I am eternal, I am one of the most powerful forces in the entire universe, you cannot take that away from me, I will not let you forget that. The lines in here have officially become my absolute favorite quotes of all time. I am definitely going to mention a few of them just so I can convey the tone of this collection. There is one that is probably the most, like, it's early on in the collection and it just punched me right in the gut. I just put some concealer down in like a triangle-ish formation. Now I'm going to blend out the edges a tad. This color is definitely a little too purple for my liking, but you know what? We use what we got. We are a picture of beauty and grace, especially when talking about our mother Aphrodite. Yes, we are. While I'm looking crazy, I'm gonna go back to my thought about one of the most impactful lines in this book. I do want to just read this paragraph right here because hopefully it gives you chills as much as it did me. They called me Gravedigger, shining queen of the underworld, Aphrodite the unholy. I had glorious names before they called me anything sweet. Before they started calling me smile-loving, shapely Aphrodite. They took my name and drug it through the mud kindly. They catcalled me until people couldn't separate my name from sex. They made me a goddess of love and then vilified me for loving freely, for kissing and fucking and strolling boldly down the streets of Cyprus. They married me off in the stories so they could call me an adulteress, but I brought the god of war to his knees. This collection just gives so much power to Aphrodite in a way that I have never read about before. Like, other things have come close, I suppose. Like, Lovely War is definitely a very empowering story about Aphrodite. But this one really just, it's so angry and it's so cathartic. It's so powerful. Like, that's all I can say, is that it really, I said this with Lovely War by Julie Berry, if you guys aren't aware. It really feels like Aphrodite is speaking through Trismegistus and like having her write down, like it really feels like Aphrodite was literally chilling in Trista's apartment and she used her to convey what she finally, and like took ownership of her words and of her mythology and just said it, and it's just absolute perfection. And of course, I definitely have to preface that I have a really close relationship with Aphrodite. While I'm filming this, I'm kind of coming to terms with really how deep that means to me. I have always been close to Aphrodite. I remember the first time I really had like an experience with her was when I was in elementary school and we had to do a like mythology project. We had to like draw names, like it was randomized which god we had to write a paper on. And I was the first person to draw, and I got Aphrodite. And obviously that's like, oh, it's just a coincidence, but things like that have just always happened to me, where just be exposed to her, and it's like really hard to explain, and I'm kind of getting off topic here. I've always just connected so much to her and the like what she stood for, and just how empowering she was. Always, from when I was really young, I've always been like, why are women's bodies so policed? Like, obviously as a 60-year-old, I didn't say why are women's bodies so policed by society, but like I would ask questions like, oh, why can guys be shirtless all the time, girls can't? Or like those kinds of, you know, questions that little kids ask. And I've always been like I've been so attached to sexuality and how women can like have been policed by their bodies and vilified by their bodies, and how they can reclaim that power through the very thing that they're policed by. I've always seen that as such a powerful thing. I've just always seen it as such a powerful thing and such an important thing to love one's body and self-love and doing what you want and loving who you want. And it's just, I've always just connected to everything that she stands for. And this poetry collection, it really just captured everything that I felt into words. This collection is so empowering, and I just love it so much, and I really want people to support it. And I'm trying to like put my primer on without messing up my foundation that I put on my hand, because I forgot to put my sparkly metallic things on my face before I put the foundation on my hand. So if I'm being weird, that is why. Let me take a break from my fake deep montages. Taking the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion in Light Glow. This is one of my favorite products because, as you can see, it makes you look like a Tin Man, but it just gives you such a nice glow, and it's cheap and it feels nice, and I love that. Another thing that is really funny to me, I have always said that if I could do anything, I would love to like be a madame and to like own a brothel, like one of those really, and I would have it in like Spain or like Florence or something, and it would just be like a little townhouse, and we would all just be rich as fuck, and it would just be a good time. And I've always like wanted to do that. Obviously I would never do that because I wouldn't even know how to navigate that whole wheelhouse. But I've just always been attracted to that narrative. I don't know, I've just always been someone who is very open about empowerment and sexuality and all that stuff. So Aphrodite just really speaks to everything about that. Aphrodite is just the embodiment of loving yourself and loving your body. And I think that is such an important thing to have. A lot of problems with self-love stem from not loving yourself and not loving your body, and if you do have difficulties with that, like this poetry collection would hopefully really help you, because it talks about kind of moving away from that narrative and trying to accept yourself in every way possible. Another thing about this collection is that it has a lot of art in it. I have the ARC copy, so everything is in black and white, and I believe that in the final copy everything is going to be in color and everything, which I am so freaking excited to see. The art in here and like the typography and the photography and all of that stuff is so beautiful. Collection is just everything I could have ever wanted. Anything. I really do think everybody would enjoy this and be able to take something from it, because it's just super important. I strongly believe that if you are queer, you need this. Like, regardless of anything else that I said, you absolutely need to read this stat, because again, it gives so much validation. It just gives you so much self-love. How many times am I gonna say self-love in this video? I don't know, but it's just, self-love is so important, guys. Everybody deserves to have that validation and love, and I'm not saying that this collection is going to make everything better and turn your worldview overnight, but I hope it would help at least and kind of give you a different perspective. So I'm going to use the NYX Wonder Stick, which is my pride and joy. I use it every single day because you guys know from my videos, I love to try to look like I'm not a pasty white bitch. And then I'm taking the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. This stuff has been my absolute new favorite makeup product. It is just so deliciously bronze, and when you put it on, you get a little chocolate. You get a little chocolate taste. Who doesn't want to taste their makeup products while putting it on their face? I don't know, but I don't want to meet that person. Look at my fucking cheekbones with this product. I am Jennifer Lopez, and you can't tell me any differently. Imagine a day, I don't even want to, that's a nightmare to me, where I didn't use this product every day. Like, I used Hoola bronzer instead of this shit. I deserve to be canceled just for that. Now I'm going to take this Hikari blush. Do I look like a clown? Maybe. When do I not, though? And I'm gonna bring it a little towards my face, just to get a little sun-kissed pink. Like I'm just a tad bit sunburnt. I'm not gonna get skin cancer, but just like a little thread of it. Now, I'm going to take the ColourPop Dream Sequence palette, and I'm going to use this pinky color right here, and I'm gonna go ham on this pink highlighter. Whoever said colored highlighters were canceled are just not creative enough. Oh, it's not wearable. Bitch, neither is your metallic silver Kidman looking ass highlighter you got on your face either. So I don't want to hear nothing. We are embodying alien excellence right now. Miss Aphrodite deserves nothing less. Does HelloFresh want to sponsor me? I'm basically a beauty guru. I mean, look at this. Excellence. That's what she is. You see what happens when you read this poetry collection? Do you see the ego that is just radiating off your screens right now? I didn't have this before Aphrodite made me. Before I do like the finishing touches on my look right now, I do want to show you guys the trigger warnings for this collection. Trista kindly put them at the very front. So the trigger warnings in this are body image, sexual assault, rape, eating disorders, queer phobia, emotional abuse, physical abuse, gore, blood, death, and fire. So those are triggers for you. Just be aware of that. Definitely is a very hard-hitting book. Poetry just hits different. It does. So it would be a difficult read. Like, I'm not saying that even if any of those aren't triggers for you, I find myself not really being triggered by really anything. Like, this hit. Like, not even anything to do with Aphrodite at all, but just those self-love topics and accepting yourself. Even me, my egotistical Leo loving ass, was real. It hit there. Like, it's hard. It's definitely a hard read, but it's worth it. And it ends in a happy note. Like, no matter how sad that the middle or the messages or any of that are, it leaves you with hope. It leaves you with that really raw acceptance and raw just feeling of validation and power. If you can, granted, some people won't be able to read this because it is so raw, but I feel like if you are in a good place, or if you're not in a good place right now, but maybe have it on hand for when you possibly are, I think it's so worth it. It's just so empowering, and I can't say enough good things. Anyways, I am going to go off real quick. I'm going to do my brows, lashes, lips, all of that good stuff, and I'm going to come back with a few finished thoughts. Okay, you guys, so here is the final look. For the lips, I ended up going with ColourPop's Lippy Stick in Poppin'. I don't know if it's still available. I don't know these things. I'm not an actual beauty guru, so I'm not liable to know these things. What I am liable, am I even using that word correctly? Probably not. What I do know is when this baby comes out. So Aphrodite Made Me Do It comes out. It's actually already out by the time you're seeing this video. It comes out October 1st, so go get it. I know I probably didn't talk too much about this. This is a poetry collection, so I can't really tell you too much. I don't want to tell you the poems in here. I just want you to trust me and just buy this. That's what I want you to do. This just means so much to me, and I feel like it would mean so much to so many people, regardless of if you care about Aphrodite, if you care about Greek mythology. I mean, quite frankly, I don't know why you're here if you don't, because that's my brand and that's my only personality trait. It's just like the blurb right here from Amanda Lovelace, the author of she does like the mermaid has her voice in this one, or oh, this one says the princess saves herself in this one. I'm sure you guys know who Amanda Lovelace is, but she says it's fierce, magical, and empowering. And I know I've said like validating and empowering and all those kinds of things so many times in this video, but it really is just so that. Like, that's what this is. This is the embodiment of self-love, validation, empowerment, strength, finding yourself, loving yourself. It's not about finding love with other people. It's not about, you know, loving other people. It's about loving yourself and finding that love within yourself. And again, that's such an important thing to me, and I feel like it is such an important thing to having a successful and happy life in general. So please pick this up. I can't thank Trista enough for writing this and putting my feelings into just such beautiful words. Not even just words, but she just put my emotions and my feelings into a tangible thing that I can actually read and consume and properly articulate those feelings. I know I'm blabbering on. I know this video was a mess and I kind of went on multiple tangents and I didn't really even talk about this enough, but I just really hope that you guys, if you guys like my reading taste, if you guys have heeded my recommendations at all in the past before, please pick this up. Even if you can just find it at your library, just experience this for yourself. That's pretty much it for this video. It's gonna be a mess to edit, but I hope you guys enjoyed me blabbering on, and maybe you got some makeup recommendations, if anything, out of this. Hi guys, so I totally forgot to give shout outs to Carrie from Carrie the Book Bell. She is actually the entire reason this video is even made possible. She kindly got me this ARC via BookCon, and it's even signed by Trista and everything, and I just feel so bad for totally forgetting to mention her, but I wanted to make sure I included it, so thank you so much, Carrie. This book means so much to me. Go follow Carrie. She's the sweetest person in this entire book community, and I love her so much with my whole entire heart, and I love this book with my whole entire heart, so it's very fitting that she gifted this to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys pick this book up, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!